Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Greedy Little Pigs Show. This week we had 4 loads. We were very mile heavy, and unfortunately, it didn't do us many favors. Fuel was high, and net profits per mile ended up pretty low. But here we go. Our first load this week was actually a high-value run, so I can't share too many details. What I can tell you is we started somewhere in Ohio and ended somewhere in South Carolina. We were 16 miles empty and 434 miles loaded for a total of 450 miles. This was an overnight run that paid $1,192.16. That's $2.65 per mile. Let's go!
Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama.
After the high-value load, we deadheaded 47 miles to Gaffney, South Carolina to pick up some Stouffer's TV dinners. From there, we were loaded 1,981 miles for a total of 2,028 miles, heading all the way to Springville, Utah. The load paid $3,153.13, which comes out to $1.55 per mile. Here we go.
Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama.
By the time we got to Springville, my 70-hour clock was pretty much tapped out. Dispatch then asked if I could do them a quick favor, deadhead up to Salt Lake City to grab a trailer that was already loaded and bring it right back down to Springville where I had just dropped. That run was 49 miles empty and 49 miles loaded, for a total of 98 miles. We were paid $152 for it, which still works out to $1.55 a mile. I took it in hopes we'd squeeze in one more load this week. Let's go, folks!
Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama.
And finally, after Springville, we deadheaded 129 miles to Logan, Utah. We picked up a dry run of sports goods that went to a couple of local stores in Montana. We were 492 miles loaded for a total of 621 miles. We were paid $1,493.12, which averages out to $2.40 a mile. Now, before we get rolling, a quick caveat for this load. From Montana, there really isn't anything to pick up, and I knew I was going to have to deadhead at least 350 miles into Idaho to pick up next, and that's going through mountains, which was just going to eat up my fuel. So before we dropped the last load in Hamilton, Montana, we bought quite a bit of fuel. You'll see in our expenses that this made our net fuel cost pretty high. Now let's roll.
Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama, a mi cama. Mala fama, se la pasan diciendo que soy mala, porque no me aguanto drama de nada. Dime si vienes a mi cama.
All right, let's break down the numbers. Our total revenue this week was $6,158.46. We had $1,311.34 in reimbursements. That's from the drive tire I caught a nail in about 5 weeks ago. They finally charged me for it, but it came straight out of my tire fund. Deductions for the week came to $3,815.76. Tire fund contributions were $95.91. That left us with a deposit of $2,248.82. Add in the $250 we put into the E-Fund, and our net profit comes out to $2,498.82. Total miles, 3,197. Fuel, DEF, and reefer, $1,717.01. 23 cents per mile. Revenue per mile, $1.92. Operating cost per mile, $1.22. Net profit per mile, 70 cents. That's a wrap for this week's episode of The Greedy Little Pig Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one. And in the meantime, be safe and stay greedy, piggies.